My beloved child, if you wake up each morning and feel exhausted even before you open your eyes, if you reach for your phone before you whisper a prayer, if you feel like a new day is a burden instead of a gift, then today I want to show you something that will change everything. Not a secret you have to memorize, not a complicated ritual, just a simple decision. Put me first. Not in the middle of the day, not when you've already failed, but the moment you open your eyes. Because what you choose to do first each morning will shape the rest of your day. And if you begin with me, you will begin with peace, with strength, with clarity, and with hope. Not because the day will be easier, but because you won't walk through it alone. So don't leave this video, just a few more minutes, and I will show you how to live a day full of energy, full of life, full of blessing. No matter where you are, no matter what you're going through. And it all begins with a whisper. Lord, today I choose you first. Let me be the first in your day. My beloved child, do you know why opening your eyes each morning is a miracle? Not because everything is perfect, not because the pain is gone, but because I still give you breath so that you may have one more day to walk with me. A day to live, not just to survive, but to live fully in my love and in my presence. I know there are mornings when you wake up with a sigh. You feel exhausted before you've even begun. Your schedule is packed, the worries still haven't gone away. Your heart feels dry. But listen, even in those moments, I am there. I'm waiting for you. Not at the end of the day, not after you've handled everything, but right at the start of your day. I don't need you to bring me perfection. I want your honesty. I'm not asking you to pray for hours, read the Bible endlessly, or confess everything before you come near. I just want you to begin with a sincere invitation. Lord, this morning, please step into my life before anything else. When you do that, when you make me your first priority, you're opening a sacred door. A stream of life, wisdom, and peace will pour in, not because you did everything right, but because you placed the right one first. Do you know something? Modern life teaches you to start your day with energy, coffee, schedules, and success products. But I teach you something different. Seek first my kingdom, and all these things shall be added to you. Matthew 6. That's not just a verse, it's a life strategy. It's a compass for the soul that's spinning, searching for direction. My precious one, I see you. I see you jumping out of bed, grabbing your phone, your head already flooded with notifications, your mind consumed by work, news, and worries. And right there, you've begun a day with no room for me. Not because you don't love me, but because you forgot that I am the very source of everything you're looking for in those other things. Peace, direction, unconditional love. I want you to try something different tomorrow. When you wake up, don't rush to your phone. Don't dive into the current of the world. Sit still, just for a few minutes, and whisper, Lord, today I put you first. I need you more than I need answers. And I promise, you'll see something miraculous begin to happen. Imagine if each morning you stepped out of bed not in a rush, but in awareness that the King of Heaven is waiting for you. Imagine starting your day not with anxiety, but with peace from the eternal source of life. No elaborate ritual, no forcing yourself, just a heart ready to say, Lord, lead me first. When you put me first, I don't just help you get through the day, I bless it. What seemed random becomes divine arrangement. Doors you thought were closed begin to open in ways you could never do on your own. Let me tell you about a girl. Every morning, she woke up late, rushed, and carried anxiety throughout the day. One day, in the middle of a mental breakdown, she decided to try one small thing. To start her day with a 5-minute prayer. Not eloquent, not perfect. Just, Lord, I'm tired, I don't know what to do, please lead me. She didn't expect much. But that morning, her usually harsh boss was suddenly kind. The long-delayed email finally got a positive response. A friend she hadn't heard from in years unexpectedly reached out. She cried, not because everything went perfectly, but because for the first time in years, she knew she wasn't alone. That's the power of putting me first. Not to change every situation, but to change your heart as you walk through it. My beloved child, remember this. I am never late, but I come after you invite me. Not because I don't know you need me, but because I always honor the freedom you have to choose whether you want me or not. Every morning is a new door, a new beginning, and I'm standing there, knocking. Do you hear it? That knock isn't loud. It doesn't force its way in. It's the gentle whisper of me. My child, today, let me be the first to step in. And when you open the door, even if it's just a whispered prayer, a heartfelt sigh, I will step in. Not just into your room, but into your mind, your soul, and everything you're about to face. I don't promise you a day without challenges, but I promise that when you begin with me, you will never walk alone. I will be the light for your steps, the wisdom in your decisions, the love that lifts you when you are weary, and most of all, I will be the unending source of life within you, so that even if the world outside feels like a desert, there will still be living water flowing within you. So my child, tomorrow when you wake up, don't start the day trying to control everything. Start by giving it to me, and then you will see I can do great things through a heart that invites me in. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in to him. Revelation 3 verse 20. Surrender brings miracles. My beloved child, I see you. I see you trying to hold everything together in your hands. You brace yourself each day, as if letting go even a little would cause everything to fall apart. You think you have to control everything, to be strong, to endure, so that you'll be worthy, so that you won't disappoint me. But my child, you were never all those burdens alone. I didn't call you to be a hero. I called you to be my child. And do you know what that means? It means you don't have to win the battle. You just have to surrender to me, and I will fight for you. Surrender. It sounds like weakness, doesn't it, my child? In this world, people teach you to fight to the end, never back down. You must win. You must rise. But in my kingdom, surrender is not defeat. It is the doorway to miracles. Do you know why? Because when you stop relying on your own strength, that's when you begin to rely on mine. I remember long ago, there was a man named Elijah. He had no power, no army, no support, only me. He stood alone on Mount Carmel, facing 450 prophets of Baal. All of Israel had turned their backs on me. Elijah was mocked, looked down upon, but he did not tremble, because he knew, when you stand alone for the Lord God, you are never truly alone. Elijah didn't rely on tricks. He didn't run away. He surrendered fully to me, and he said to the people, "If the Lord is God, follow him." He didn't need to shout. He only needed to do one thing: trust me. And then, you know what happened? Fire came down from heaven. It didn't just consume the offering, it burned away the doubt of an entire nation. That is the power revealed through a surrendered heart. My precious one, there are battles in your life that you will never win with strategy, knowledge, or willpower. They are only won when you lay down your weapons, raise your hands, and say, "Lord, I don't know what to do anymore, but my eyes are still fixed on you." I hear that voice, and not one prayer like that is ever wasted, because it's in the moment you admit your weakness that I pour down strength from heaven. I know, maybe you're in such a moment right now, a marriage cracking apart, an illness with no answer, a child who no longer wants to pray, a dream slowly dying in silence. And you wonder, "Lord, why am I still losing even after I've tried so hard?" The answer is, I don't need you to try harder. I need you to surrender. Look back on what you've already come through. How many times did you think you couldn't go on, but something still held you up? That wasn't coincidence. That wasn't your own inner strength. That was me. I am the whisper in your tears, the peace in your night, the invisible hand that kept you from completely falling apart. And today, I'm just waiting for you to let go of everything in your hands, so that I can do something far beyond what you've imagined. My beloved child, you may not understand everything. You don't have to. Surrender doesn't require a map. Just trust. Surrender is when you place the fragile leaf of your life into the hands of the one who made the forest. It's when you say, "Even if this hurts, I still choose to trust you." Maybe people around you won't understand. Maybe they'll ask, "How can you be at peace when everything's falling apart?" And you will smile. Not because everything is perfect, but because you know the one who controls all things is holding your hand. Let me tell you about a young mother. She lost her husband when their first child was only 2 years old. Everything inside her collapsed. She cried, blamed me, and went silent for months. But one morning she opened her Bible and read these words, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. For the first time in months, she knelt down, not to ask for anything, but just to say, Lord, I don't understand you, but I don't want to live another day without you. And from that moment, not everything around her changed, but she changed. She began to feel peace in the storm. She began to sense life again, even though her world was still scarred. That is the miracle of surrender, not the disappearance of pain, but my presence right in the middle of it. My beloved child, do you know the greatest miracle is not mountains moving or rivers parting, but when your heart is transformed, when you choose to trust me in the darkness, when you choose to surrender to me even when you can't see the way out? I'm not asking you to understand the plan, just to trust the one who wrote it. And I am that one. So today I invite you, let go, breathe, hand the steering wheel of your life to me. Let me drive, you just ride beside me. It's not you giving up, it's you rising to a higher place where I become your strength, your guide, and your outcome. You don't have to hold it all together anymore. Let the tears fall if that's what's true. Sit down if you're too tired to stand, and let me rise up for you, fight for you, go ahead of you. Because you were never meant to walk alone. You were created to walk with me. For when I am weak, then I am strong through the power of God. 2 Corinthians 12:9. When I am the center, everything finds its order. My beloved child, there are days you look at your life and all you see is chaos. Like a room so messy you don't even know where to begin cleaning. Your mind is filled with unfinished thoughts. Your heart is carrying wounds that haven't healed, and your schedule feels like an endless wheel spinning without rest. You try to control it. You try to organize it. You try to plan it all out. But the more you try, the more things seem to fall out of place. And then you ask, Lord, why does everything inside me still feel so out of order? I understand that exhaustion, because you're trying to create order with hands that weren't made to master everything. You've taken on my role without even realizing it. My dear one, life was never meant to be built like an upside-down pyramid, with everything stacked on your shoulders. It was designed with a divine structure. I am the foundation. I am the center. And when I am the center, everything else will gradually find its rightful place. Not because you force it, but because I place it there. Look at the universe I created. Every planet orbits the sun in perfect balance. No collisions, no missteps. Each star has its path. Each season knows its time. Nothing struggles to stay in balance, because everything revolves around the right center. And I ask you, if the entire universe must revolve around me to stay in order, then why wouldn't your life do the same? When I am the center of the universe, everything lives, moves, and is sustained. And when I am the center of your life, your heart too will begin to beat in rhythm. Imagine a car on a long journey. No matter how powerful the engine is, if the wheels are off-center, the ride is rough, exhausting, and wears the car down. That's what it's like to live with the wrong center. You can keep pushing, you can keep moving, but you won't find rest. Your heart will feel anxious, your mind will be in turmoil, because you're revolving around things that were never meant to satisfy. Work, success, praise, the love of others. They're like misaligned wheels, spinning endlessly but never leading you to peace. Only when you stop and let me step into the center of your life, as the perfect axis, will you begin to feel stability, calm, and true direction. I know sometimes you think letting me be the center means giving everything else up. No, my child, I don't come to take away your job, your family, your dreams, or the things you cherish. I come to restore order, so that what is precious doesn't become an idol, and what is small no longer controls you. When I am the center, you will know what to prioritize, what to release, and what to wait for. No more living in inner conflict every day, because I am the peace you've been searching for all along. Do you know, there was once a woman who came to me while I walked the earth, Martha. She was busy preparing food, cleaning, worrying about every detail. She thought she was doing the right thing. But then she got upset when she saw her sister Mary simply sitting at my feet, listening to my words. And I said something that remains the key for millions of weary souls to this day. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. The better part, it's not about doing more or less. It's about placing the right thing at the center. Mary chose me, and because of that, everything else would be added to her. My beloved child, maybe in recent times you've been living like Martha, caught up in responsibilities, overwhelmed by endless tasks. But today, I'm calling you back to Mary's place, sitting at my feet in stillness. We're learning how to live, how to love, how to breathe. Because when I am the center, I will take care of everything else. You don't have to understand everything right now. You don't have to see results on day one. Making me the center is a journey, like tidying a home that's been left untouched for too long. But I promise you, if you begin with a simple prayer, a quiet minute each morning, one small decision to choose me first, I will do the rest. Give me the leading role in your life, and you'll see the supporting roles begin to make sense. Your family, your job, your health, your relationships, they'll all become full of grace. Not because you did it all, but because you placed them into the hands of the one who holds the entire universe in his palm. I'm waiting for you at the center, not to judge you, but to love you, not to control you, but to guide you, not to remove you from the world, but to help you live in it with holiness, peace, and eternal purpose. If today you feel lost, it's not necessarily because you took the wrong path. It may simply be because you began your journey without me at the center. But it's never too late to return. Wherever you are, however far you've gone, if you just stop and whisper, "Lord, please return to the center of my heart," then in that very moment, a new order will begin to be restored. A fresh wind will blow into your soul. A new life will flow again into every corner of your heart that once felt dried up and forgotten. I don't promise there will be no storms, but I promise that when I am the center, you will not be drowned. I don't promise you won't be wounded, but I promise your heart will never break in vain. I don't promise you will always understand my will, but I promise that if you let me lead, you will arrive exactly where I intended for you to be. And that place will be better than anything you ever dreamed of. Let me be the center, my child, not just in church, not just in your songs, but in every moment, from the time you open your eyes in the morning to when you turn out the light at night. Let me revolve around you, and you will see the world within you start to spin back in the right direction. Live each day like a warrior who puts me first. My beloved child, I know there are mornings when you wake up feeling like you're about to step onto a battlefield. The moment you open your eyes, the pressure rushes in. Voices begin to whisper in your head. Are you good enough? What if something goes wrong today? What if you fail again? And you sigh, already feeling drained before the day even begins. But today I want to remind you, you are not a victim in this life. You are my warrior. Not a warrior as the world defines it, tough, flawless, hiding pain, but a warrior in the kingdom of heaven, someone who dares to walk in faith even when they can't see the outcome. Someone who stands amidst the rubble because they know I still hold their hand. Someone who chooses to live with me first, even if it means going against the crowd, letting go of comfort, and choosing the narrow road. My beloved, a warrior in me is not someone without fear. It's someone who takes the next step even while trembling. Not because you trust yourself, but because you trust me, the one who has never lost a battle. I see you. I see the silent battles you fight every day. The battle to forgive those who hurt you. The battle to stay faithful when everything around you says give up. The battle to keep believing even when your prayers haven't been answered. I'm not asking you to win with your own strength. I'm simply inviting you to begin your day with one decisive choice. Put me first. Put me first in your thoughts, your actions, your plans, and even your dreams. Not so you live by rules, but so you live by the power of my Spirit. Do you remember the story of David? A young shepherd boy who stood before Goliath, a giant that made the entire army of Israel tremble. No one believed David could win. No one thought he was capable. But David did something that stronger, more experienced men didn't do. He put me first. David didn't come to the battlefield with armor or a sword. He came with a surrendered heart. And when he said, "You come to me with sword and spear, but I come to you in the name of the Lord," at that very moment, he was no longer fighting alone. He became a true warrior, not because he was strong, but because I was his strength. My precious one, you don't have to wait until everything is in order to live like a warrior. You don't need everyone's approval to walk in faith. You just need to put me first, and everything else will start falling into place. When I am your priority, you'll have the wisdom to choose well, the strength to endure, and the courage to move forward, even if no one understands you. Some say, live each day as if it were your last. But I say to you, live each day as a warrior of the kingdom, sent out, equipped, and deeply loved. That doesn't mean you have to be strong all the time. A warrior in me knows when to fight and when to kneel and worship, knows when to speak and when to be silent and listen for my voice. I didn't call you to be famous. I called you to be faithful, because it's your daily faithfulness in the small things that will make you a strong warrior in the big battles. Every time you choose to pray instead of worry, every time you choose to forgive instead of retaliate, every time you choose to trust instead of despair, you are fighting in the unseen realm where I am at work. My child, when you step out of the house each morning, remember that you're not just going to work, to school, or facing life. You're stepping into a spiritual battlefield where the enemy constantly tries to steal your joy, your purpose, and your faith. But don't be afraid, because I've given you armor, not armor of this world, but weapons empowered by the Holy Spirit. My word is your sword, your faith is your shield, righteousness is your breastplate, the gospel of peace is your footwear, and prayer, that is the breath of a warrior. Use them. Don't let a single day pass without putting on this armor. I am there, right beside you, in every breath, every decision, every step. And if you put me first, not a single plan of the enemy can stand fully against you. Because you're not fighting to be loved, you're fighting because you already are, unconditionally. And lastly, my beloved, I want you to remember this. A true warrior is not measured by how many times they win, but by how many times they rise after falling. If you're weary, if you feel like you've lost too many times, if you think you don't have the strength to keep going, then right now, in this very moment, I am beside you. Don't blame yourself for falling. Bring that weakness to me, and I will give you new strength, a power that comes from heaven, a fresh fire that will burn again in your heart. Rise up, not because you're strong enough, but because I am lifting you with my mighty hand. Live tomorrow, not like someone who's being swept away, but as someone who's been sent. Step into the new day, not with fear, but with the boldness of this truth. I am a warrior of the King, and my King goes before me. And then, no matter what that day holds, you will not be afraid, because I, your God, am right here, and nothing can separate you from my love. My precious child, there will be mornings in this life filled with energy, and there will be mornings that feel unbearably heavy. But no matter how you feel, no matter what your circumstances look like, one thing will never change. I am always there, waiting for you to begin the day with me. Not with a loud voice, just a whisper. Not with perfection, just with honesty. Because every day you choose me first is a day you place the keys to your life into the hands of the only one who knows exactly what you were created for. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm rings, pause, close your eyes, and say to me, Lord, I'm not starting this day alone. I'm starting it with you. And then you will witness something miraculous. Not that the world will suddenly change, but that you will be renewed day by day. Let me be your beginning, and I will walk with you to the very end.